How's it going, everyone? In today's video I'm going to be taking you through a legs and back workout, a legs and pull workout, whatever you want to call it. Just going to be going through one of my sessions I'm doing just now, training their legs, training their pulling movements, or back, biceps, that type of thing. So the general setup of the session isn't anything massively specific, it's just to build general strength, so staying relatively high-ish reps, kind of at the higher end of our strength rep ranges on our main exercises, and then the kind of lower end of our kind of hypertrophy muscle building rep ranges for all the secondary exercises. So I'm just going to run through, I'll talk you through each exercise, why I'm doing it, where it fits into my program as a whole. On that note, this is just one of two legs and pull sessions that I'm doing.
You're doing a big massive spiel all about yourself, no one cares.
So first exercise, the main focus of the session, front squats. I've got through all the boring warm-up sets and we're now getting to the kind of main stuff. So when it comes to squatting, for the most part, not in every single circumstances, but front squats and back squats for me are totally interchangeable as long as you're doing one form of them. They're both absolutely brilliant exercises, so just make sure you're doing some form of squats. And I can't even remember if I mentioned this already, by the way, but if not, we're doing 4 sets of 6 on this. Because I'm just getting back into the full swing of training, I'm not at my absolute heaviest yet, so we're just working up to doing some reps at 115, so I'm a good 20-30 kilos off where I would normally be doing these kind of reps, but is what it is. I'm just building myself back up from my stem cell surgery and being off full training for a little while. So you might notice when I'm doing these here, and if you ever see me doing front squats on Instagram or anything, when I hold the bar, I always hold it with 4 fingers, and shall I keep this up here? I always leave my pinky out, and that's not like a right or wrong thing, it's just a thing that suits me the best. And in theory, you should actually be able to hold your front squat with one hand, because you want the bar like up here, like not like you holding the bar in your hands, but the bar resting across your collarbone here, so it's almost just like your hands are just like touching it backwards to support it rather than actually holding the bar up. I also did break my finger at judo on Thursday night, so that's another reason why my pinky's staying well clear of front squats, because it's agony. But yeah, when you do front squats, just make sure to not actually hold the bar in your hands. You're not going to be able to do it, it's going to hurt your wrist, so just make sure that you're driving the bar right up and it's sitting across that kind of little groove in your collarbone. Now, going to give my legs a little rest and move on to my main upper body movement, or main pulling movement, which means I can put my microphone up here now. And that's going to be pull-ups. So pull-ups are an absolute staple in pretty much all my training plans. They're one of the best exercises for just pure upper body pulling strength, and you've got so many different variations of them if you want to obviously do them differently, and they're also a brilliant exercise as well for building muscle. With a lot of the clients that I work with, they're maybe not always at the stage where they can jump on and start doing even just bodyweight pull-ups straight away, never mind weighted pull-ups. So that's why I always use lat pull downs as a precursor to move into pull-ups, because they are just the same movement. And then when you get good lat pull downs and you can pretty much rep your body weight with lat pull down, at that point there, that's when you could move on to pull-ups. And also on pull-ups, my go-to is always neutral grip, so palms together pretty close. Obviously you can have them fully supinated, that's going to work a lot more of the bicep. You can go wide grip and overhand, that's going to make them a lot harder. So going neutral grip, that's just, it's a good balance. It's not going to say it's easier or harder, it's just right in the middle. And on these pull-ups, same setup as the front squats as our main lift, it's going to be 4 sets of 6 and working up to a top set again, obviously. So now that we've done our 2 main movements, we're going on to all our secondary stuff and we're back onto legs, and unfortunately we are now going on to Bulgarian split squats. So Bulgarian split squats are absolutely fucking horrible. Everybody knows this. They're the absolute drizzling shits to do. They're just the hardest exercise in the world, and I can't explain enough how much I actually despise doing them. However, as much as I hate doing them, I can honestly say that Bulgarian split squats are the one secondary or assistance exercises that I feel have made such a massive direct improvement to my squats and deadlifts. Like nothing else I've ever done has come close to the improvements that I feel these have given me. So unfortunately, for that reasons, they've become staples in my program, and as horrible as they are, it's just something that's got to be done. Now the setup on these, as well as the other secondary exercise we're going on to, we're doing 4 sets of 8. Now when you do any sort of exercise that you're doing one side and then another, such as these or lunge variation or something like that, for the most part, unless you're doing a finisher or something, or you're really trying to hammer yourself with reps, I would always stick to doing no more than sets of 8, because a set of 8, that's how much these have knackered me already. A set of 8 on these is really like a set of 16 in terms of how you exert yourself, because you're obviously doing 8 one side, then 8 the other. So if you do like 10s and 12s, that's really like 20 or 24 reps. So if I were you, I would just focus on hitting your unilateral exercises shorter and sharper essentially. So on these I normally would still be pyramiding up, but I know I keep repeating myself, but I'm just getting back into full training, so I'm just sticking at 30 kilos here and just doing straight sets. So just all my sets of 8 are with the 30 kilos rather than working up to a top set. This will probably be the last week that I do that, and then I'm getting more and more used to it. So after that I'll start pushing myself on a wee bit and doing my 4 sets of 8. Did I say 3 sets of 8 before? 4 sets of 8, if I said 3 sets of 8 before. And I'll be doing them working up. We'll see where I get to. Feels like a massive hill just now, but I think my best with these I was repping 52s or something like that. Not for sets of 8, but for like, I think it was like 5 or 6 or something like that, which feels miles off now. So that'll be my goal. I have to try and work back up towards, but that's going to take a little bit of time. So we're going back to the back for our secondary pulling movement, and that is a dumbbell seal row, lying prone row, bench row, whatever you want to call it. One of these exercises, it's got a whole load of different names, and it's probably my favourite rowing movement. I think it's just far superior to definitely a bent over row. I think it's probably better than your T-bar rows, single arm rows, that type of thing. The reason for that is just because you've not got anything to help you, nothing to support you, nothing you can use to, to create momentum. It's just pure power you need to lift the weights up. It's a wee bit awkward to get set up. Like you can see here, I've got quite a lot of faff going on here, but once you get past that, it's one of the best exercises you can do for your back and just as a general pulling movement. And once again, we're doing 4 sets of 8 on these. Now, the way that I structure my programs in general, in terms of the exercise selection, the rep ranges, and just the general volume and the way the sessions are structured, is that it's always going to be easy to pivot if you need to. So unless you're trying to focus on something like really specific, this session here, as I've said, this is just a general kind of power building session. Try to build strength, try to put on a little bit of muscle. But we could keep the exact same exercises, relatively same session setup, and turn it into like a max strength focus session when we're really trying to bump up our top numbers. And on the other hand, we can swap it the other way and turn it into a session where, you know, it's like a more bodybuilding session, everything high volume, high reps, trying to pack on as much muscle as we can. So yeah, I'm not a massive fan of having these programs that you have to like go from one extreme to the other if you need to change. Obviously, unless you're having to like try and do something like really specific, then you will need a very specific program. And obviously there will be a big change required if you're changing your direction. So yeah, this isn't that dissimilar to all my sessions in terms of what I train like and then what I give my clients to. Say hello. Hello. It's going to be seen by thousands of people.
Only thousands. Switch off.
So as is done with all the pulling movements. So this is like 1 or 2 sessions that I do off this setup with the legs and the pull. So I do the bulk of my pulling in the other day and then just a little bit in this session. I'm doing a couple judo and BJJ sessions a week just now, so a lot of the muscles that I worked in there are the same as like your pulling muscles. So you don't want to do overkill, you don't want to do too much in the gym when you're doing all that on the mat. So yeah, short and sharp with the back, and we're just finishing off with a little bit more legs. And we're doing Nordic hamstring curls. So these are horrible exercise, but really good for strengthening the hamstrings and preventing injuries apart from anything else. So I should be doing sets of 10 here, just 3 sets of 10, but my band that I normally use, I snapped last week and fell flat on my face, so I'm using this little thin band here that I'm not quite strong enough just now to get 3 sets of 10, so I'm just basically doing 3 sets of however much I can handle. So I'm obviously just improvising here and I'm just making the best of my setup. You might be fortunate enough that your gym has a Nordic station or bench, something, whatever you want to call it, or even something that you can use. You can use a mat, you can use whatever. So this is just like folded up mats for my knees on the ground, and then I've got a cushion here to obviously cushion the backs of my legs and my calves and everything, so I can like really like focus on pulling and driving my legs right back into this to pull me back up. You can use like a hip thrust pad, or your gym more than likely will have something that you can use that doesn't require this much faffing about, but yeah, if not, this is what I do. And last but not least, going to finish off with some bicep curls, 4 sets of 10. Not really massively bothered about my biceps just now because I'm more focused on just my general strength, but it doesn't do any harm to try and get your biceps strong when you're trying to build strength, because obviously strong biceps is going to help you with a lot of your pulling movements. I've already done a lot of pulling movements in this session. My biceps have been worked, so 1 heavy exercise will be enough, relatively heavy. Quite a far bit off what I can normally do. And you can use a EZ bar, or you can do what I do and use an Olympic bar. And I've just always preferred using an Olympic bar. Not quite sure why, I just think it's maybe a little bit more alpha than a wee EZ bar, but yeah. finishing off the session with just some heavy curls. And that is the session. So hopefully you've picked up something, learned something, and something you can take forward with you into your own sessions. And as always, if you have any questions about anything that I've done in here, feel free to drop me a message in the comments. Comments are always good for the algorithm, or you can head over to my Instagram and ask me there. On the Instagram, social media and all that good stuff is in the description, as is the link to my coaching inquiry form. So if you're looking for coaching, whether it be one-to-one, if you're local to me, or if you are looking for an online coach, I can sort you out. So please feel free to get in touch with me there, and I'm happy to answer any and all questions. And I think that's everything from me today. The merch, this is just a prototype, will be dropping soon if you are interested. And I think other than that, I will see you in the next video.